And we're back. You're listening to the Talkin' Boxing with Billy C show. Don't forget, man, this weekend, Floyd Mayweather claims to be fighting his last fight. He's going for that 49-0 record to tie the late, great Rocky Marciano. And he's taking on Andre Berto, who's known as a power puncher, but has faded drastically in the last couple of years. And I know their local ticket sales aren't going well, but hey, we got an idea for you. Do we have an idea for you? Yes, we do. Come on down to Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria Italiano Ristorante in St. Simons Island, Georgia. Check out the fight. Be part of our broadcast. Sal's going to be putting out some food for you. You pay. There'll be you pay to get in. You watch the fights. You get part of our event. You eat some of his food. He'll have his whole menu available to you, so you can order some of the specialty stuff that I strongly recommend. And a full cash bar, and I mean full cash bar will be available, so you guys can check it out, have some fun, and there's more. No, wait, there's more, because we're going to be doing an official book signing. I'm going to be bringing some of my books, and we'll be selling them and signing them. And no, wait, there's more, because if you come down, we will be announcing another bit of news, and that bit of news is my next book. And my next book will be on Rocky Cenicola. And speaking of Sal, Rocky Cenicola, he's joining me right now. Sal, what's up, my man?
Hey, Billy, how are you, buddy? How are you?
Not too bad, my man. Not too bad. I'm looking forward to. That's it. I'm fasting. I'm fasting. Starting today, I'm fasting. So you better get some extra stuff in, because you know I'm a fat bastard, and when I sit down, I'm gonna start eating, and I ain't gonna stop.
Billy, I'm going to introduce you to a couple of my new pizzas that I've perfected, and you're going to really love them. I'm telling you, you're going to talk about them all the way home. All the way home. Hey, I just want to say, I thought I was listening to a Ron Popeil commercial, the way you kept saying, there's more, and there's more, and there's more. I was going to buy this whole bunch of waterless cookware and knife set and everything else.
That's right.
The first time I bought a Ron Popeil gift was, a product was the old Pocket Fisherman.
That's right.
I bought that Pocket Fisherman, and there was more. And there's still more.
That's right. No, wait, there's more. Because if you call now and you're one of the first 25 callers that calls Sal, you'll get a free cannoli with your deal. Hey,
but there's more. But let me tell you something.
It's funny.
There's going to be more. There's going to be more at Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria this weekend. We are going to have a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun, Billy. I'm looking forward to it. We did this same show, and I think we're learning from our experience when we did the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. But you're right. This is going to be a great weekend. I think we're going to be full. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have great people join us. And I think even our friend Carl King is going to come up with John. So that would be exciting. That would be good. And hopefully we'll all do some commentary on some preliminary fights. And I think we have I talked to Bobby Ches and Vinny Pazienza. No promise, but I invite these guys down all the time. They're good old friends of mine from the old days. I like to talk about those old days. But Bobby may be surprising us any one of these next couple of weeks.
That would be great. I would love to see Bobby Ches again and Vinny Paz. It would be right up his alley. He wakes up right around 2 a.m, so he's a night owl. Hey, before we talk about the fight, you mentioned the Pocket Fisherman, and everybody got one of those, right? Well, my buddy came across those a couple of years ago and bought himself and me a couple. I have brand new in the box, a Pocket Fisherman. Maybe I'll bring it down for you.
You know what? Please do. I bought a brand new one a couple of years ago, but after my divorce, I've moved so many times. People are starting to think I'm on the lam. Keep moving from every 6 months. So I got to go through some boxes, and if I can't find it, I'll definitely welcome a Pocket Fisherman.
So listen, what's the excitement level on the island about the fights? I know that your place has become the place to go for the big fights, the pay-per-view fights. Once you officially announced it and got it out there, are we going to expect a lot of locals there or what?
I think we're going to expect some locals. We're going to expect quite a few people that are coming in from outside. I know that. We're going to have some heavy hitters from Sea Island. We're going to have some big people that come in here. And guess what? Last time we did this, we charged a good fee. We had we had an open bar. We had all the food. It was a great night. We had a bunch of celebrities. We had Michael Moore. We had Ray Mercer. We had some football guys, Quentin Portis. We had all these guys here. But I think right now, the way it's leveraged, we're going to have Don King's son, his call here. You're going to be here. John's going to be here. Myself, and we're going to have a blast. And who knows, maybe Bobby or Vinny will show up. But we have a lot of excitement. There's a lot of people that are going to be looking to come and join us that night. And so I think we're going to have a big crowd at Saturday night.
Well, that sounds good, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll be heading down. I won't be flying down. I'll be driving down, so I'll be hitting the road soon. But let's talk about the fight themselves. Today they announced some disheartening things. Not surprising, but disheartening for the promotion. The ticket sales aren't going well, and it's just. Here's a guy in Floyd Mayweather, Sal, and you and I have talked a lot about this both on and off the air. We have our hang-ups with a guy that, claims he's the best and really falls, in my opinion, and I think yours too, a little short of even coming close to being the best, and he ends up going out, so to speak, with a fight like this that he picked against a guy who let's give Andre Berto some credit. I mean, he does have punching power, and he could land a punch that could put Floyd out. I know he's got the ability to, but he's just the talent level isn't there, and he's very predictable fighter, and I don't know what to expect. I'm hoping, like you said the other day when we spoke, I'm hoping for Berto to come out and really shock us. Maybe Mayweather is looking ahead. How do you see this going, man?
Billy, with my experience going back, I've had close to over 160 fights.
You got to talk in the phone. I'm losing you a little.
Thank you.
Okay.
I've had over 150 fights with my amateur, my professional career, and I could truly identify or empathize and get inside the mind of some of these fighters and the hearts. I don't know exactly what's in their hearts, but I can get inside the psyche and understand. And I know Floyd Mayweather. This will not be his last fight. I can promise you that. In fact, if it is, then if it is, I'm coming back out of retirement. But anyway, this will not be his last fight. I think he's got more to do, and I think if he does win this fight, which all signs are pointing that he should do so fairly easily or fairly well, I think he's going to do it in a fashion that we're used to seeing with Floyd Mayweather. He's going to box. He's going to punch in bunches. He's gonna slip. He's gonna slide. He's gonna control the fight. He's gonna control the tempo and the pace, and he's gonna have his opponent coming right towards him, and he's gonna use his opponent's own aggression against him, and he's gonna outbox him and just hit him in bunches, and then move away, get out of the distance. That's what Floyd's going to try and do, and what I think he will succeed in doing. However, you do have Andre Berto, who we all say has the puncher's chance. And when you have a puncher's chance, you can never discount that one moment, that one infinite second he could land and turn his whole night around. And that's what a lot of people might be wishing and looking for, and maybe it could be fabricated, maybe he could rise to the occasion. In his heart of hearts, he's got to wake up and he's got to tell himself that that's his only shot. And that's what's going to drive him into that ring. If he's a true champion, a true fighter, and a true athlete, he's not going to want to go down easily. He's not going to want to be made fun of or outboxed by Floyd Mayweather. He's going to try and use his smarts. He's going to try and look for the opportunity that Floyd may give him in his being more than conscious that he's going to win this fight. And I think Andre Berto, if he goes in there and he rises to the occasion, and if he looks for those openings, and if he gets a little bit of the exchange, and if he does a little bit of feinting, if he does a little fake, and if he does a double and here and there, and catches Floyd in that 1 second, maybe we're going to have the upset of the century. I don't know. I'm hoping it's going to be a good fight. That's what I'm hoping. I know we have a lot of people coming in because you're just excited to see you, to see John, to see everybody, and have some good pizza, and I'm excited about that. And we're going to have a good show. It's going to be a good night.
Well, I think you're 100% correct about Floyd's plan. Floyd is going to pick his shots and use his ring generalship in this fight, and his hand speed and his accuracy and all the things that makes Floyd Floyd. I think we all know that, and I don't think anybody can really think anything else. I know Floyd did an open workout, and he was very aggressive with some human punching bags they put in front of him. I don't see him doing that in this fight on Saturday. He's not going to take chances. He never has. He never will. He's certainly not going to take a chance against a guy who does have some pop. And his fans, the fans that like what he does, are going to enjoy it. They're going to say, oh, this is why he's so great and this and that. But my question falls on Andre Berto. We know that this is a payday for him. We know, and I've said this before, and I think I've even asked you on air, it's kind of hard if Sal, if Floyd Mayweather, as much as, he's not my favorite fighter at all. As a matter of fact, I don't care for the guy. But if I opened my mailbox tomorrow and there was a check for $1 million in it from Floyd, how could I be nasty to the guy? How could I possibly say anything negative? It's just human nature, and I can't help but feel that way when these guys get in the ring and they're arguably making the biggest payday of their life. They're set me up for life type of a payday. And do they really go after this guy with reckless abandon, or are they just there for the show and collect their money and drive off into the sunset? So my question with Berto is he there for the payday, number one? Is he really prepared? And what can he do? I mean, I know you've watched fights of his. He's not a guy that's much of a ring general. He's got a really strange stance. His legs are really wide apart. He's easy to hit. He can only deliver punches when he's standing in front of you. And all those things add up to what Floyd wants. I mean, what does Andre Berto actually have to do to win this fight?
All right, here's what you said. You said a mouthful and 100% on, Billy. And all I can say is that, and I'm speaking from South Rocky Cenicola's heart, if Floyd Mayweather picked up the phone and said he was going to pay me and I'm going to have a fight with him, you know what? Yeah, I could be a gentleman. I could be as congealed with him and everything else. But once that bell rings and I'm in the ring, I'm going to look the terror's head off. I'm going to do it in my controlled rage fashion, that I'm going to prove to myself and to everybody that I'm here for the upset. I'm here to show everybody that I'm going to be the champion. Now, does Andre Berto have that in his heart? I think once a fighter, and I could talk about Andre Berto, yes, he's got a fighter's mindset. He's a good fighter. There's a lot of knocks. He lost 3 of his last 6 fights. 2 of the opponents he lost to were opponents of Mayweather that Mayweather soundly beat. So you can always say, well, this doesn't look to be on paper the fight that we wish it could be. But again, fighting and boxing is the only sport that you never can tell any given night what can happen. And I'm going for that any given night. And hopefully Andre Berto, but as I said with Pacquiao, I wanted it more than I thought Pacquiao wanted to win. And I would say that, and I know that's half-cocked, but, that's what it almost felt like, the sense of urgency. I want to see Andre Berto in there. I want to see him go in there, and, maybe he could trade. Maybe he can cut the ring off. Somebody has to tell this guy. It's like a Rocky movie. You got to murder a bum. We're going to make you 200-pound greased lightning. Somebody's got to talk to Andre Berto, or should have trained him differently and prepared him differently for this fight if he's going to go in there and let's see a different Andre Berto. Now, I don't know that. I don't know what he's been training or how he's been training. But it's almost like, does Hollywood mimic life or does life mimic Hollywood? Andre Berto needs to be trained or needed to be trained to fight Floyd's style, but in a way that opposition can equal a defeat for Floyd. He's got to look at all the attributes that Floyd's going to use and is going to pull and all the stops, and he's got to train and he's got to fight differently. This can't be the same Andre Berto that comes into the ring. He's got to actually learn a little bit more of a different technique and a different fight strategy to go in here. Maybe he's got to swap some punches. Maybe he's got to take some punches to land some punches. Maybe he's got to slip. Maybe he's got to slide. Maybe he's got to change that wide stance of his. All I know is if we're going to expect both fighters, the way they are both going to head on paper, we're going to see what the paper's going to show. Floyd Mayweather may outbox him. Now, if Andre Berto's corner was smart, if his trainers are smart, they have been training him with a little different approach and a little different mindset on what they're gonna expect. And yes, to get back to your original question, I don't care how much money Mayweather was going to insure and give Berto as a payday. Berto goes in that ring, and that bell rings. He better go out there and say, hey, guess what, boys? This is my night. This is my moment. Let me rise to the occasion and show that I earned the money that Floyd Mayweather was so gracious in giving me, because I'm going to be here for another big payday once I have to fight him in a rematch. That's what I hope.
I agree. I mean, I hope that that's what it is. First of all, Andre Berto's with Virgil Hunter. And yeah, Virgil Hunter is a guy that he's so slow and low key that it's like he took a handful of ludes or something, sleeping pills. I don't know. I mean, he's very, and I do agree with you. You need somebody that's going to jack Berto up. I think that the only way that Berto could, and Berto does have the punching power. I mean, if he can land a shot on Floyd, he's got a chance. I think it's going to boil down to, has Virgil Hunter been able to help Andre Berto, become more of a ring general? Can he cut the ring off? Can he anticipate where Floyd's going to move? Can he show that Floyd's legs have aged and he did lose a step? Because if he can make those things happen and get himself in a position to land a significant punch, a power punch, then we could be talking a different talk, But if he chases Floyd around, that's what we're going to see for 12 rounds.
Well, exactly. Just what I said. If it's going to be the same Andre Berto that we've seen, and it's going to be the same Floyd Mayweather, you're going to see Berto chase him around, and that's going to happen. Now, like I said, if he had a trainer and he had sparring partners and he had the kind of strategy, well, let's throw a couple of feints. Let's fake going to the top on Floyd. Let's bang his body. Let's go up there. Then let's back up. Let him come forward. Let's sidestep him. Go higher and hook to the belly, hook to the head, double hook. Come up with it, man. I get into a fighter's head. I get into his heart. I could be a trainer. I could be so valuable in this fight game because I see so many different things and opportunities, and I could actually get into the mindset of a fighter, and that's what this guy's got to have. Berto's got to have the mindset to want to go in that ring and shock the world and shock Floyd Mayweather and beat him. That's what he's got to have, the mindset. He's got to believe in that, but he's got to be doing this with imagery training. It's too late now if he hasn't done it already. And he's got to be out there, and he's got to be trained differently. He's got to go in this fight with the whole approach that he's going to shock the world, and he's going to show Floyd a different fighter than what everyone expects to see from Andre Berto the night he enters the ring with Floyd Mayweather. That's what he's got to do. It's going to be all mental.
I agree.
Physically. He's got to land that shot.
I agree with you. And Virgil Hunter said, "We're just like this." He said, "Well, we're going to win." I mean, with that much animation, So I don't know what to think. But let me ask you this:
if he knows something we don't know,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's got a crystal ball. But talk to me real quick about the significance of Rocky Marciano's 49-0 record. A lot of people ask me that all the time, and there's been many fighters who have won more fights than Rocky Marciano in a row before eventually succumbing to a loss. Julio Cesar Chavez won, I think, 80 fights before he lost his first one. Sugar Ray Robinson won, I think, 60-something fights before he lost to that Jake LaMotta for his first loss, maybe even more than that. And if you count his amateur fights, I think it was somewhere around 200 fights. But 49-0, the whole significance of that is that Rocky Marciano retired at 49-0, never came back, and therefore that's where the record stands. Now, Floyd Mayweather, should he get by Andre Berto, would tie Rocky Marciano's record. Now, that's a big feat, and there's a lot of significance behind that. And he has sworn up and down, not that anybody should ever believe anything that comes out of Floyd Mayweather's mouth, but he and his team and everybody else has sworn that that's the last fight of his career, that his goal is to end 49-0. Based on the significance of Rocky Marciano's 49-0 record, and if it were you or I and we decided as a respect move to not break Rocky Marciano's record and tie it, I could see, we're both Italian, maybe us doing that. I don't see that from Floyd. I can't see him not wanting to break that record. I don't see why he would, unless I'm totally reading him wrong, unless he's totally looking for that respect factor. What's your thoughts first on the significance of the 49-0 record that Rocky Marciano has, and where Floyd fits in to this whole picture?
Well, I could start with saying, you're talking about the heavyweight championship of the world and the most coveted belt, the most coveted title. I was a lightweight that came back to the junior middleweight, and those belts and everything else mean a lot. You're a world champion. But when you are the reigning heavyweight champion of the world, that means there's nobody bigger, nobody better, and you are the coveted one, the one on top of all. Now, that was my perception. That was what it meant to me to see a heavyweight champion on that level of those early days of the 40s, 50s, maybe 60s. So with that title, with that record, with Rocky Marciano as a heavyweight champion, fighting some good talent and fighting some good opponents, and maybe not the mecca of the best generation of heavyweight contenders, but still finding some tough fighters that could have been a champion today by far, or even at the time when Rocky was still fighting. The bottom line is, you go 49-0 on that record of 49-0 back then when there was 15 rounds of championship fight, and back then when you fought during a fight, the fights were not stopped. You think many of those fights that Rocky Marciano won would have made the cut of what fighters would have been able to endure, and the referees not stopping as they would today? No. Half those fights on cuts alone, or taking a barrage of punches or fights, could have been stopped. So Rocky, on some level, when he was losing some of those fights, when he was outboxed by a Roland Lastarza, or when he was in tough with Jersey Joe Walcott, or some of these other fighters, he rose to the occasion. The fight wasn't stopped, and he came back and he won, despite all the blood, despite all the cuts, despite all the other variables that today may never get a chance to see because the referee will stop those fights beforehand. So the 49 win with the 43 knockouts and the 0 defeat is a significant number in the reign of the heavyweight championship belt. Now, I don't believe for one moment that Floyd is going to be satisfied with tying a record, and I think he's going to try and go on and find another opponent. And I know what you told me the night of the Pacquiao fight, what you predicted, and I feel your prediction is right along. I think Floyd will still continue, and he'll want to break if he does get past Andre Berto. He will want to go break the 49 win, and he will try to go for a 50th. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, I just can't. I mean, listen, you get to 49-0, you might as well go to 50-0. I mean, this is a guy that claims he's the best ever. I mean, there's some more ammo for him. And you know what, Sal? You made the most logical and dead nuts on comment a few moments ago. If Rocky Marciano was fighting today, half of his fights would have been stopped. They would have, and he wouldn't have been undefeated. The fight against Ezra Charles, both fights, but the one fight where Rocky's nose was flopping around on his face. I mean, it split
in half.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way they would have let that fight continue. I mean, the amount of blood and everything else. I mean, so it's a great point that the game has changed. A fighter gets in some trouble and they're waving it off. Not that it's not the right move, but it's
right.
just it's hard to compare the eras. So even the record, the significance may not be the same. But the biggest thing you said is that Rocky Marciano was the undisputed world heavyweight champ. That was the title everybody wanted, even though there were other weight classes and other great fighters throughout the history of the sport. The heavyweight division was the division. So I think that's what makes that particular record stand out.
Yes, yes, sir, and I agree with you. I agree 100%. And that's why he'll always be, the people's champion of the time, and in my heart of hearts, one of my idols that I love dearly. And he just was a streak and a bolt of thunder and lightning all in one. He gave the light on the sport, and he was the people's champion and the world champion. He won the hearts of fighters. Why? Because he didn't go down as he was supposed to when he got hit with a sledgehammer. Well, he didn't give up when he could have, easily sat on the stool and said that he's had enough. That's what makes a fighter a champion. That's what makes a fighter the blood, the heart, the significance of I'm going to still persevere and I'm going to win no matter what, no matter how I feel cracked. It's like that old saying I used to see in the gym, fight one more round. It was in the old Costello's gym. Bobby Ches knows it by heart. But if when fights come easy, it's like the morning dew, and soon will vanish a man's memory. But those fights that are earned of one man's blood, sweat, and tears are more likely to stay with a man his entire life. That is the price of success and for being a champion. And, those are the words that are long forgotten. Those are the words that are long just not repeated enough, because those are the words of a fighter. Those are the words of a champion.
Well, I tell you, Sal, you hit it on the head, and they're in the chat room calling for you to fight Roy Jones Jr. and all this stuff.
I love to.
Yeah,
absolutely. You make that fight, I'll fight Jones Jr.
I know. But listen, my man, this segment flies by, man, and I tell you what, I can't wait to come down there, and I hope everybody comes down and enjoys the time with us, and of course gets to taste your delicious menu. And it's not just about the pizza, we know that. And like I said before, your menu will be available, and I'm hoping that we pack the house like we did last time, my man.
We're not only going to pack the house, Billy, but we're going to rock the house. We're going to have a great night. I got Max here, who's going to be throwing some big pies. We're going to have a great time. You're going to see some real nice things come about that night. We're going to have a great time, Billy. It's going to be great. And you know what? I want you to tell Dax, I want to thank him, because he was on Facebook promoting this segment that we're having tonight and everything else. And next time we do this fight, we're going to plan a little better. I want you to take a bus. Let's get a bus. We're going to have a bus come down with some of your following, some of our fans, and we're going to load South Pizzeria up with a busload from New York with Dax. I want you to bring Dax and everybody else down. We're going to have a great time.
How's good. That sounds good, and it's got to be. We'll talk about buses. I have a thing about buses, but if it's me and Dax and a bunch of listeners, and you got some pizzas on board, I think I can deal with it. But
absolutely, you got 900 miles. The people on the bus go up and down, but I'll tell you what, you'll be happy when you land.
That's right, and I'll be there. Tell Max I'm on my way. I'll be there Friday, and I'm looking forward to the event on Saturday, and we're gonna have a great time, and can't wait to see you guys.
We are going to have a great time. Give me a call either late tonight or tomorrow, and we'll talk about some things behind the scenes. And again, I want to thank you and all your fans and loyal fans there, and Dax again. And I love all you guys. And man, you hit my heartstrings when we talk about fighting. The past, the present, and the future of boxing. We have got to resurrect this sport and get it back on track. And I think when you have guys up there and they push, they promote, and they want, I think it just takes all the synergy that we can form and do together to call for the standards of boxing and to have what we once saw return as the legendary sport of what our generations of forefathers brought up to us. So let's get that back to where it should be.
I agree with you, man, and I'll see you in a couple days.
See you in a couple days. Have a safe trip down, guys. Take care. Have a good night, and hit that round and hit that bell, hit that pad. All right, we'll see you later.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, my man. Take care.
All right, knock them out. Bye-bye.
That's my man Sal, Rocky, Cenicola. Make sure you mark it down and come on down to Sal's place for the Mayweather Berto fight this Saturday night. Get some information from Sal. He's going to have some great food out there for you, cash bar, the whole nine. 912-268-2328. That's 912-268-2328. Call Sal right now. Tell him Billy C sent you. I'll be back in